must have made a suicide pact. We came to you with an offer of peace, but you rejected it and took to the streets. Russian collusion, no one will buy. We read the memo and we know it's a lie. We know where you live, we know where you sleep. We're fully trained and we're on to the team. We saw you coming and we were ready. You can run, but you cannot hide. Cause we're coming for you now. You can run, but you cannot hide. Cause we're coming for you now.
Hey everybody, it's Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Coming at you live and unscripted. Alright, is that better? I wanted to talk to you today about the movie Hustlers. Now I am broadcasting live on DLive and Twitch because YouTube has done something. I don't know what they've done, but I cannot. I've gotten it to work since they made the changes, but I couldn't get it to work today, which is unfortunate. So let's see if I can get this working. Check one. Oh, see, the volume is way down when I switch over. So let me switch over. Can you see that? There is the IMDb picture of Hustlers 2019, starring who's that? Jennifer Lopez, Constance Wu, and Julia Stiles, among others. Not to be confused with The Hustle, which is a instant delete movie. I didn't even download it. It just looks garbage to me. However, Hustlers is also garbage, but it brings up some important points. I'm recording this right now, and I'm going to upload it. I'm going to have to upload it to YouTube because I can't live stream for whatever reason. Chat is open. If anybody wants to chat, chatty chat. Oh, let me see here. That's my stream. Doing my restream. What happened to my... See that? Definitely live streaming to Twitch and to DLive. And what was one of these things you could click on? You could see the live feed. There's the monitor. Keyframe interval 8. Okay, whatever. We'll see what happens. But last time I checked, see, look, there's YouTube. It's not, even if I try to click on go live, it's not working. So F YouTube today, F YouTube tomorrow. Anyhow, Hustlers, the reason why this I wanted to do a review on this is because it reminds me of the shit that's happening here in Krakow. A lot of people being scammed in the so-called strip clubs. Now, this movie takes place supposedly based loosely on a real story, on true story. In New York City area, these strippers, pole dancers, whatever you want to call it. I'm not calling them whores or anything like that. Although one did show that she did slob the knob. She thought she was getting $300, but she got $30. But I digress. Anyhow, the point of the story is there's these strippers, and they're trying to make money, and obviously they're basically sharing all their money with these small hats that run the stripping industry in New York. I mean, and it's clearly depicted here. All the people that they work for are small hats. There is no Italian mafia involved that I could tell. They were all small hats running the show. And you can see them, they all had their hands out. Okay, the house had their hands out. Obviously, you got to pay for your spot, and then everybody wants a tip. Everybody wants a handout. So that was clearly shown in this movie, and it's, I guess, designed for you to show sympathy for these girls. Now, yeah, part of you has a little bit of sympathy for these girls that are working, trying to make a living. But on the other hand, you know, if they're such attractive, beautiful girls with so much talent, why not get married, support your husband, make a family, and do what you were designed for, which is to make babies and have a family and be a good mom. Now, the Jennifer Lopez character already has a child, and during the course of the movie, the Asian chick, she gets pregnant by some loser boyfriend who then apparently ODs. Anyhow, the main thing is, and what brings it up to what's happening here in Krakow, is they started drugging people with roofies, basically roofie drugs, right? And this really came close to home because I was poisoned with this shit, this Rohypnol type drug, which they said it makes you feel good, but you lose your memory. I didn't remember feeling good. I remember not feeling good at all. And luckily, nobody stole any money from me, and I didn't get ass raped or anything like that. So, by the way, YouTube, this is not for children, and I clicked the box. This is not a video for children. This is not a movie for children. I believe it is rated R. R for retarded. 6.4 out of 10 is the IMDb score. Popularity is going down. I don't know. I wouldn't give it a. It's just glamorizing these whores, basically these strippers, and that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Like I wouldn't want any woman to have to shake their ass to get paid. I mean, you understand that during certain times, like when people are desperate, when women are desperate, they may have to do this. We understand that this is what's happening in Venezuela because of the collapse of the economy and people basically starving, selling their ass for $1 for a loaf of bread in Colombia, that sort of thing. I mean, that's a really desperate situation. After wars, during wars, we all know stories about GIs getting the war brides. These are desperate women, and at least if they married an American, maybe they made a good choice. I don't know. I don't speak for them. I mean, whatever. I met several of them. Had a war bride teacher, German teacher in high school. She was a very nice lady, but she was mentally disturbed, I think. She taught more in English than she did in German, which was not very good, even though she was a fluent, native speaker. But I digress. Anyhow, what I'm trying to get at is that these women basically, instead of playing the game where, a guy would come into the club, would, whatever, do some private dances or whatever, and, whatever happened in the private room or the VIP room, that's between them, right? That's between two consenting adults, supposedly. Instead of doing that, what they started doing is bars and actually picking up guys, drugging them, and then taking them to the club that they knew they had good ties with. And according to the movie, they were running as much as $100,000 a week through these clubs, picking up guys and basically stealing their money. Now, it started out at $5,000 a pop, and then it went up from there. They started doing $50,000, whatever the guy's limit was on their credit card. Now, spoiler alert, of course they're going to get caught because B's going to be B's, and they never know when to stop. I mean, criminals, it's just some criminal mindset, right? They never know when to stop, okay? I mean, have we ever met, the smart criminals you never heard of because they stopped and went into hiding or went legit or whatever. Those are you would say these are the smart criminals, right? But the stupid criminals are the ones you know about because they keep doing the same thing over and over again and they get caught. So what happened was they I mean, I'm sure there's multiple guys started filing police reports, and of course the cops are just laughing, right? Now it's really sad, but supposedly this is a patriarchy, a man's world. This is a man's world. It was bullshit because the cops basically ignore all the guys. Like, oh, you went to a strip club, blew $5,000. That's on you, right? Basically, just laughed them out. Now, finally, one guy, he called up the detectives and said, I was drugged, they stole my money, and I have video evidence. And he showed them the video evidence, and sure enough, these guys were taken advantage of. And these women got busted. And of course, they tried to expand their operation, hiring lower and lower class women, hiring drug addicts, other women with criminal records, which obviously it's a bad thing because, they tend to squeal. They don't want to go back to the joint, and they have other issues, right? A man or a woman is what do you call it? A man or a woman can only is controlled by as many vices, has as many masters as they have vices. Anyhow, so they get caught because this dude had video evidence, and then according to this movie, which of course is just fiction, based supposedly on some possibly true shit, Lopez goes to jail for 3 months and has like 5 years probation. The other chick gets 3 years probation, whatever. Basically a slap on the wrist for these women that stole hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from multiple guys in New York. Now, the guys that went into the club, I mean, you guys bought the ticket. Took the ticket, and you went in. That's why I say stay the hell out the strip clubs. I mean, that's just my message to all guys. Just for what reason? If you want to pick up a girl, you just got to go to a regular club and talk to girls. Just do that's the normal dance. That's game. You got to get some game. All right. Trying to go into a strip club, especially in Poland, where basically, again, most of these places are no touch, and there's no, even in the VIP room, there's nothing going on. And if it is going on, do you want to be the next to get with that girl? I mean, think about it. I mean, whatever. That's just your, whatever. I just would. I would argue that's not what you want to do. All right. I mean, you can't be that desperate. I mean, there's what do you want to call it? Legalized prostitution, if that's what you want, and that's a lot cheaper because you know exactly what you're paying up front, and no one's going to rip you off for the most part. For the most part. But at these clubs, you can see there's a big risk that you may be drugged, taken advantage of, and again, the way in Poland, these guys are on video. They've been drugged. They are on video making the transaction, showing them enter their PIN number, right? Only what the cameras don't show is that the clerk says, "Oh, it didn't go through," and they redo the thing. They redo the charge, and they not only that, but instead of charging them in Polish zlotys, they'll charge them in British pounds, which is 5-1. So not only are they paying 5 times what they should be paying, which already is probably 100 times what they should be paying, then they're paying it double and triple times. And we've seen, I've done videos on there's a website, I think it's krakowscams.org or something like that, where there's lawsuits pending with many of these clubs, and not just in one city, in many cities in Poland because of this activity. Now, who's doing this in Poland? Definitely, we know there's small hats involved. We know there's Russians. We know there's Ukrainians. Obviously, there's some Polish people involved. But from what I can tell, the Polish interference or the Polish involvement is minimal. And there's some girls that are involved. I try to talk to guys on the street. A lot of them are not Polish. A lot of girls on the street are not Polish that are trying to get you into the clubs. So, I mean, look, whatever. It is what it is. Just stay the hell out those strip clubs. And this movie is maybe considered a documentary on what could happen and what has been happening, what is happening, and what has happened. And that's, again, another reason to stay the hell out the strip clubs. In terms of the cinematography, in terms of the storyline, it's a good story. It's a very watchable movie. But you know, in terms of the message, then the ending is, of course, is a tearjerker ending, trying to get you a tearjerker, that the girls still love each other even though they ratted on each other. They all, you know what I mean? That Lopez still loves this Chinese chick and doesn't hate her even though she took the deal. The Chinese chick took the deal, pleaded guilty, so that she wouldn't have to go to jail. And Lopez is the only one who did not plead guilty, apparently, and served the most time, right? So, again, pure fiction, you know, based on possibly some real life stuff that may or may not have happened. Neither here nor there. But in any event, stay the hell out the strip clubs. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll, reminding you to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain. This has been my review on the movie, the 2019 movie Hustlers, starring Jennifer Lopez and Constance Wu and Julia Stiles. And look, it's not worth spending money on. It's available on the torrents. Check it out if you want to, and then once you've watched it, delete it, because it's definitely not something that you would want to watch more than once. All right, until next time, you know the drill, babies. See if I can get this. See if I can get this to go right. You know the drill, people. Make it happen for the captain. Oh, hey, by the way, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. Before I forget.
They came out of the swamp. They tried to take down the president. Let's talk about Mad Max scenes in San